Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural episode. I've been saying that a lot recently. We have 3 inaugural episodes, or 4 entirely different things. Here is the one for what we like to call Pokepocalypse.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Pokepocalypse. He's good at that. All right. Of course, we want to talk about Pokemon. Pokemon is something that is a huge part of our childhood. It's a huge part of our gaming culture and influence.
It's still actually a small part of my life now. Still,
exactly, and it's going to be a part of our future here shortly. So we want to talk about it. It doesn't really fit into PlayStation education. We actually had it marked as a 2 Drinks In episode as singular, and we realized there's so much to talk about. You can't fit into one episode.
So it got its own series.
Its own series. It's probably not be too long. We're thinking between 6 to 8 episodes, basically around the different generations. And like I said, we're going to try to call it Pokepocalypse. And for this first one, we're going to talk about our earliest memories of Pokemon, how we remember getting into it, what we remembered most about it, and talk about our first major Pokemon experiences, and we'll go into like specifics about generations later on. Those are going to have their own individual episodes. This one's just more about reflecting on the past. Again, this is another one. Jana, Jojo, Jared, Jake probably never played a Pokemon.
Not even once.
Please record your own responses. Put them up here. Jason too. Hey, he's probably knows more about Pokemon than I do at the moment.
He knows
a bit.
Yeah.
And so like
this is what I do.
I want to hear from you guys. What's your guys' earliest Pokemon memories? What are the shows that really got you into it, and things like that. Okay, so we'll start in the very beginning. For me, my first exposure to Pokemon was not through the show. I ended up becoming a huge fan of the show because of the games. My first exposure was actually the commercials. If you remember back, they had a commercial where this is where I'm going to call Jacob out. Jacob was the one that thought Pikachu was really, really, really cute. Because I remember specifically watching these commercials together, he'd go, oh man, that yellow one's pretty cool, or whatever. And of course, me wanting to be cool like Jacob, I started liking the commercials too. And it was a commercial where it was a bus driver. And hey, I'm blowing your mind now, right? I know you remember these. It's a bus driver, and he stops and he opens up the door and he's like, "Oh yeah, won't you come on in here, friends? I'll give you a ride, my little Pokemon friends." And they all get in, and he drives it to one of those vehicle crushers, and he crushes them, and it opens up and it's shows a Game Boy, and he's like, "Ha, got them all," or whatever.
Yeah,
that was the whole thing. You got to catch them all.
Dude, I totally remember that. I also remember the one where they introduced Gold and Silver.
I don't remember those ones.
Okay, he's like walking through the woods, and you can see each Pokemon, Grumpy, Pikachu, there's Pidgey up in the air, or whatever. And he goes, "You've conquered Blue." And you walk by with these guys standing there, and they got Blue or whatever on. "You've destroyed Red," or whatever, and there's Red. And he's like, "You've mastered Yellow," and you walk by Yellow. "Now for a new generation." And he opens up the doors, and it's Gold and Silver, and then you got like Totodile and all them. Hi guys.
Oh, Totodile! I love Totodile. He was mine for that generation. Okay.
Yeah. There's just water.
Nothing spoilers. I guess I have chosen water as my starter for all the generations. But we said because I want to choose the fire one for next one.
That's fine, because I'll choose the water.
Okay. You'll carry the tradition on. Anyway, we're neither here nor there. Okay, so Pokemon had some pretty cool commercials. I actually don't know what any one of the new ones look like, but I remember that's actually what got me wanting to get the games was the commercials. I didn't even know what genre it was. Heck, if I remember correctly, they don't even show screenshots of the actual game and process in that. So I'm really curious now, like exactly what it was in those commercials that sparked it for me. But I wanted to get it. I already had a Game Boy Color at the time Game Boy Pocket, correction. Because I picked up specifically to play The Legend of Zelda. Yeah. I remember I was a huge Zelda guy. This was before we got the 64? No, this after we got the 64. Or maybe around the same time I got 64. So I was big into Zelda. Of course, the Ocarina of Time, the greatest game ever, so I wanted to play Link's Awakening. And I did. The game was really good. Link's Awakening is a good game. But since I already had the device, I decided to also get a Pokemon game to go with it. And I had to choose between the two. I eventually chose Blue. I know a lot of kids chose Red because they like the Charizard. And I will admit Charizard is way cooler looking than Blastoise, especially with my little kid eyes. But my favorite color is Blue. So I chose the blue.
Yeah, blue is the one I played.
Butterfree! That was the one with Butterfree, you know.
Yeah, red at Beedrill.
Oh, yes. Oof, great games. So, that was my first game, was Pokemon Blue version. I beat it several times, using pretty much the exact same team every time. Eventually, my dream team, like the team that became my staple team, was the 4 starters. The 3 starters. Pikachu, which of course Raichu.
Yeah.
Mewtwo, and oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. I'm trying to remember my last one.
Pidgeot.
No.
Zero.
No. I didn't have a flying. It wasn't a flying one.
Oh, really?
It wasn't a water one or a grass or fire. I already had those. It would have been either psychic or a ghost. I'm thinking it was Gengar.
Could be. Gengar's pretty legit.
Yeah.
You said you had Mewtwo, so.
Yep.
I know back then we were really big on, all right, I don't need another water because I already have a water.
And also back then it was, this guy was on the TV show, I have to have one. Thanks, Lickington. Worthless piece of crap.
You know how hard it was to get that stupid Pokemon in that game, too?
The Safari Zone sucks.
It sucks, but honestly, the only Pokemon you can possibly catch in there easily is Paris. What's Paris?
More like the Suck-farri Zone. Yeah, Safari Zone, no good. I don't know if it got better in the other games. Because all I remember is my awful memories of the first Safari Zone. And that had Kangaskhan. I love Kangaskhan from the show, and I wanted one. I could never catch one because you throw a bait, and then you throw like 80 Pokeballs at it and never catch it.
Nope.
Or Safari Balls.
And then you could go down the glitch.
Yes.
And you could
missing no. Okay, we'll save the missing no for when we talk about the first generation. But anyway, carrying on. So that was my first Pokemon memory. The next one I got, we had a red Poke version in the family that was floating around.
Yeah.
But the next big one we got was yellow, and I remember being super into yellow, especially in the interim between when we got blue and we got yellow. We became huge fans of the show.
Yes. Huge.
We taped the show. Now this is back when no one knew what Pokemon was, so it wasn't like everyone was taping this up. We were taping it and showing it to our friends, who then ended up becoming Poke guys,
or making fun of us, or going back to the parents who said you can't watch that. It stands for pocket monsters, and monsters are evil. Yeah, I mean, James Dobson has come up with some really good things.
Jigglypuff is Japanese for suck souls of the living.
Yeah, I was saying James Dobson, like I said, some of the biblical stuff side of him is really good, and I agree with a lot of things. But when he started talking about Pokemon, and Gastly's a demon with horns, he does not have horns. He's a ball of gas. Hence the name. There's no horns. He has no horns. No horns. Jigglypuff draws in your face when it sings you to sleep, not kill you.
There's some really weird, and they never got on the actual creepy Pokemon. Do you realize Drowsy eats people's dreams, and Hypno kidnaps kids? Like, this is in the Pokedex, and they never talked about those. It was always
no. And obviously it wasn't in a creepy way.
Pikachu is Japanese for stalker. Peek at you. No, it's not. No.
Anyways, point being, we got a lot of ridicule. I remember getting picked on a lot for liking Pokemon, being a weirdo. I was like, screw you guys, I got my game right here. I'll play.
And all those kids ended up coming to us whenever we had Pokemon card collections, and we had all 150 copied into versions, because, those guys are the masters. They know how to do it. We knew about Missing No before 99% of the kids
we
lived. We cut them all. We were the bomb. Phew. Okay, so fast forward, yellow version. I got yellow version. I loved it to death. I still remember to this day some of the weird rumors of that. Remember surfing Pikachu? You could teach Pikachu surfing that, and we thought it was so awesome because was it an episode of the show, or one of those little things before in the movies?
It was an episode of the show where
Pikahuna, because it's supposed to be the big Kahuna.
Yeah, and Pikachu started glowing blue, and that was around the same time Meryl came out.
Pictures from Japan of Meryl from the future versions, Generation 2, started coming out. So the rumors started going that is the water evolved form of Pikachu.
Dude, we were ecstatic, going crazy.
Trying to find ways to evolve Pikachu into Meryl. Never happened. Anyway, so fast forward along. We got into the next generation. Now, this is where it gets a little foggy for me. I distinctly remember things about Generation 2, so I had to have played them.
Dude, I'm telling you, you had silver, Jason had gold. That's how it worked.
I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember the gym leaders' names. I don't remember what they look like.
I don't know the gym leaders' names either. I'm playing it right now.
I do distinctly remember. I think it was Crystal. as being out of the Pokemon I played. Now, spoiler alert here, I stopped playing at Generation 2. I haven't played 3, 4, or 5. I'm going to play 5 here. He's going to let me borrow it so I can at least get sort of caught up.
I was playing Generation 4 too, but I forgot Platinum, which stinks because that was definitely a better one.
I've heard a lot of stories about 5. Generation 5. Anyway, so the Pokemon game that I remember as being the best at this moment was Crystal.
It still is.
And I remember being really, really good. I remember little things like the night-day cycle. You send your phone. I remember people calling you up and saying, "Hey, do you want to battle
again?" That was
so cool. Like at the time, that blew my mind. And
Pokemon doing the little dance. That was the first time
Pokemon moved.
Animated.
Pokemon moved, and that blew my mind. Oh my gosh!
Totodile.
Such a good game. And that's where Pokemon memories end for those games. But I also was really big into the first Pokemon Coliseum. No, it's like Pokemon Stadium, not Coliseum. And
I'm telling you, we didn't own the first one though. We owned the second one. The second one.
That's what he keeps saying. I think he might be right, but I do remember because I remember having the Game Boy Transfer thing that we owned.
Yeah,
that came with second.
It was with the second one because and you can get like you have your own house and you can put like the Pokemon dolls on the table if you wanted. You could leave.
I sort of remember that, but I do remember us playing the mini games in the first one just as much as we played the actual game.
Oh my gosh, the mini games were the best.
Mini games were pretty fun. So, hey Pokemon Stadium, what's up with not having a decent single player, huh?
Hey Pokemon Stadium, what's up with, sucking after the second one? No, it's because the third, they didn't even make a third one, they made a fourth one. The one for, like, the Generation 4, like, Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even Pokemon Stadium. I don't think it was called that. It was something else. But it was mainly just battling, you can transfer Pokemon, but there's no mini games, there's no side thing, there's no the gym leader thing.
Nothing
None
at
of
all?
it. None of it. It was like, wow.
So weird.
Suck. Should make a Pokemon Stadium 3.
Yeah, hey, Nintendo, it's not that hard. I know you're going to get our money anyways. You could literally put poop in a box.
And say Pokemon.
And we would buy
poop version. Pokemon P version.
Pokemon brown version, Pokemon yellow version.
You already have yellow.
For the P.
Pokemon...
Pikachu. That was so bad.
You're a Pokemon whiz.
All the 5-year-olds watch this right now. You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, he said poop.
Oh, wow.
All zero of you.
But anyways, that's my earliest memories of Pokemon. So I've kind of been dominating the conversation. So please, some of your earliest memories where you really got into it.
Well, again, like you made the comment, I gotta be cool like Jacob. I gotta be cool like all of my older siblings, except Jacob, who didn't like it. But it's whatever. I like the Dolphins because of Jacob, and so whatevs. We had so many other friends that helped introduce it.
Yeah.
I know my very, very first time you guys let me have my own Pokemon card. It was Squirtle. I was like, best card ever. My card.
Squirtle.
Mine.
He's the best.
He is
I'm putting him right there. He's better than Pikachu.
That is why I took over Blue.
Yep.
After you were done, I got a chance to play, and I was always Squirtle. Squirtle to the max.
Squirtle Squad was Gangnam Style before Gangnam Style.
Oh my gosh, it was. There's the glasses, and then their eyes are already dark color, so it looks like he takes off glasses, already another pair of glasses on. Anyways, Squirtle was definitely the best. So, I definitely followed the trend. Like, when we got into the next generation, I waited till you guys beat it, and I got a chance to play them. Yep. And then the third generation, after when they came out for Game Boy Advance, we went with the SP. Jason went and bought both Sapphire and Ruby because I begged him to get me one of them because I wanted to be one of the first ones to play it as well. Yep. And since I was blue and silver, I stayed on that side of it, and I went with Sapphire, and he went with Ruby. Yeah. His rule, of course, was I couldn't go farther than he did in his Ruby, and I'd have to help him out a few weekends to paper out to pay him back. I'm like, whatever.
Pokemon,
freaking man. So I'd play it, and since at that point we only had one SP, so we'd alternate. Yeah. And so I'd play it when he was gone at school or work, and then he'd play it in the evening when he came back. Yeah. And it was really cool. And then Jared ended up having an SP that he ended up giving to me, and so I got to play, and then ended up giving it to Josiah.
I got a little sign over here. The SP, that's what the Game Boy Advance should have been. The original Game Boy Advance I had was a piece of poo, and Nintendo, you shouldn't feel ashamed.
Line up nothing. SP folded, really was like that big. Yep. Open it up, boom, backlit. Beautiful.
Even had a longer battery, backlit, and had a longer battery life.
Longer battery life, and you could just press the flipping button to get sort of light. really light. Oh, you don't need the light because it's light outside. Ooh, little light, lots of light. No light. I mean, it was just, there's settings.
And it was the first one to have a lithium-ion battery, so you didn't have to put new batteries in to recharge it.
You just plug her in.
That's the way it should be. That was a great set. Anyway.
That started it all. Yeah. And like the when you open it, the thing wasn't as flimsy as like the DS's. When you open it, you feel like it's gonna snap. Like
we're gonna have a separate video talking about
both my DS's broke because of that part right there. So I'm just waiting for my 3DS to do the same thing.
We're gonna have a separate video about Nintendo and their hardware issues, but yeah. Right now we're talking about our love for Pokemon.
Yes. Well, and then I'm the one who took over and started it for the next generation.
Yep.
I bought a DS and Pearl the day after my birthday because I could afford it.
Yeah.
I went out there, bought them both, laid down $200 freaking, and I was like, gives them to me, and I kicked some booty. And that is when the depressing thing comes in, where I lost my DS with Pearl in it. I was so depressed. And then when we moved, we still didn't find it. So my money's on it was stolen. It makes it worse. I had so many freaking Pokemon in that game. I caught so many Pokemon. There's certain I did three special events through other games, through downloads, to get certain Pokemon in that system that I can't do again because I've already done that special event. I was like, mother trucker. And then Jared's DS he ended up leaving it there. So his thing was, all right, you guys can play it, take good care of it, and I get first dibs on it when I come back to visit. And we're like, okay, that's reasonable. So Platinum comes out. Mm-hmm. I say, okay, we have Jared's DS. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna buy Platinum. I'm super excited because I haven't played in like months because I lost Pearl.
Yep.
Get back. Josiah goes, I think it's up on top of the pie safe is what we call it. The one thing where we kept everything. Wasn't there. That system also disappeared and we never found it. The day I bought Platinum. Yeah. So I have to wait months again to play this game that I just bought. And it was when we officially said, okay, we're moving. So Mom got all of her change, divvied it up between the three youngest.
And that includes my change too, because I still would have had my Garfield there. But anyway, we could continue.
I was almost in the Garfield. I was like $5. No, I'm just kidding. So each of us got like $180. That's how much change she had for the three of us. It was pretty awesome. And so I used that money, using Jason's connections to a random tiny little store. We got up all of the videos and games we didn't play or want anymore, including 2 GameCube controllers and a GameCube itself, because we could play all of our GameCube games on the Wii.
No one liked the GameCube.
I liked the games for it. The GameCube itself was stupid. Anyway, took them all, traded them all in, and paid only $60 then for 2 DSs. Bought one, gave it to Josiah. You take better care of this one than the last one. I'll do the same with this one. And that was the DS that we had for the longest time. Mine obviously just recently died on me. Like it still works, but you have to adjust the screen, hold it like that. 5 minutes later, do it again. So I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm moving on to the 3DS.
Yeah. Good time too, because that's when after it went on sale.
Yeah.
That $250 price tag. It was $280 when it introduced here in Korea. Unacceptable, Nintendo. That's literally almost the price of your Nintendo Wii. It's only $100 less than the PlayStation 4. Come on, guys.
Well, that's why I put off to get the 3DS, the smaller one, obviously, was when I realized that Pokemon X and Y were coming out for the 3DS. I was like, you know what? I need a new one anyways. I'm making the upgrade.
Good choice. In fact, I did so myself. It's over in my bag over there. This is actually the first Nintendo console I've bought since the Game Boy Advance. That's how long it's been since I've been on the Nintendo side of things. I'm actually kind of excited. We're going to have a whole different conversation about this stuff. But the exciting stuff is, of course, the future. The new Pokemon X and Y coming out. So this has been your first episode of the Pokepocalypse. And we're here...
It's really long, sorry.
Yes. But please send us your earliest Pokemon memories, why you got into it, your earliest memories of the first generations you played. We're obviously be making a lot more of these. Join us next time. We're going to talk about Generation 1, our specific teams, our favorite moments from those, what we really liked about it. Obviously, it's going to be the only generation where I have a whole lot to say.
So I'll let you dominate there, because I'm going to be the only one talking 3 and 4.
3 and 4, he's going to be the only guy. Hopefully, I'll try to get through some Generation 5, so at least have an opinion formed by the time we get there.
Yeah.
But, and of course, then join us after all those when we start talking about the future and what we hope from Generation 6. And I'm totally getting that panda bear, that fighting panda bear, which becomes a dark fighting.
Which is pretty awesome. He's got like the twig thing. He's like, I'm a panda bear. What up?
What's up, bro? If real panda bears would like that, If real panda bears in real life were like that, they wouldn't need pistols.
Pistols for pandas.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.